Hi dear students, welcome back to computer science class. We have already completed DDL commands, data definition language commands like CAD, create, alter and drop, and DML commands, data manipulation language commands like update, insert and delete. Now it's time to look at the most commonly used DML command, that is select. We have already created database, created tables, and we have inserted data, plus we have completed all kinds of manipulations. Now it's time to look at how does it appear on the screen, how it displays on the screen. That's what we are going to look at, and we gonna look at SQL query processing using select command. We know select is the most commonly used SQL command plus DML command as well, right? Yes. So select command is used to retrieve data from a table, or we can say select command is used to retrieve data from multiple tables or from a relation, right? Yes. So these are the topics to be discussed for this session. We have select statement, and it has two classification, selection and projection. Then we look at how in which all ways we can apply select command, right? Yes, applying where clause, recording columns while displaying query results, eliminating duplicate values. These are the topics related to select. So let's move on to the topic. Select command, actually after creating a database, and you know the procedure, right? First we'll create the database, then we'll create tables. After that we can start inserting data values. Of course, then you can perform the manipulations using update, okay, delete. Yes. So first we are creating a database, then followed by what table is created, then data can be stored, right? After performing or after inserting, after performing all the operations, we have to display it on the screen, right? Display it on the monitor. Then only user will get an idea about how does it appear, how does it looks like, whether it's working properly or not. Okay, yes. So select is the most commonly used SQL command, because after completing or after having all the operations, update, delete, insert, create, of course truncate, we will have to select it, meaning we will have to retrieve data, we will have to show off how does the table appears. Yes, okay, appear, yeah. Then it's used to retrieve and view data in the screen, on the screen, using select command. Actually select command is used to retrieve and view data on the screen. Then it's used to fetch or retrieve data from one or more tables, which can be used for selecting both rows and columns. Of course it's about table, right? Table contains rows and columns, so it's used to fetch data from multiple tables as well as both rows and columns. Okay, so this is the basic idea, basic concepts related to select. Select is the most commonly used DML command used to retrieve data from a relation. We know first we'll create database, then we'll create table, then we'll have what data entry and operations or manipulations. Then it's used to fetch data from a relation, right? Which used to retrieve both rows and columns. Now let's move on to the statement. Okay, select statement. It performs selection and projection. Actually, select statement is used to perform two main operations: selection and projection. Selection can be related to rows and projection can be related to columns, right? Selection is directly related to rows and projection to columns. Then select is the most extensively used SQL command, or select is the most widely used SQL command, because you know the reason why. It's just because after having all the operations, we have to see how does it work, right? How does it look like? How does our table looks like after having operations like update, delete. Suppose just think of it, we are updating marks of a student from 95 to 99. Okay, after rechecking, his or her marks has been changed to 99 from 95. So after performing update operation, we have to select it, because we want to see whether it is updated or not, or we want to see the entire table sometimes, right? Yes. So select is a must used command. Of course, must is not that compulsory. Okay, it's a must use command. Of course, we can say just after performing all other operations, we have to see how does it look like. That's it. Okay, yes. So it performs both selection, projection, most extensively used SQL command. So first we can look at selection. Selection is used to retrieve rows from a relation. We know selection is related to tuples or rows. It returns tuples or tuples with all attributes. Tuples with all attributes. See the point? Returns tuples. Return tuples with all the attributes. Here we have the syntax: select column name 1 column name 2, etc. We can select number of columns, right? From table name, where, condition. We know we have a procedure of applying select command. It's like select from where. Select from where. The command is starting with select. It is proceeding with from. Then ending with where. We can avoid. Actually, where clause is optional, as we have seen in some other cases as well, right? Yes. So select. The command itself is starting with select. Then we can have column names. Okay. Column name 1, column name 2, column name 3. Okay. Yes. Then from. After from, we specify what? The table name. From which table we are selecting. That's what from specifies. Okay. Yes. Finally, we have where clause. Where clause is, we know it's optional. Okay. It's optional. It's used to restrict the number of tuples to be selected. It's what where clause is applied in select command, used to restrict the number of tuples to be selected or tuples to be displayed. Yes. Okay. So it's used to restrict, limit the access. We have an example here. Select star from student. Here, what is star? We know we don't have a where clause here. Okay. Select star from student. You know what? Select and from where, right? Then star. What is star? Star means all. All means what? All rows or all columns. It's always indicate all columns. Okay. All columns, all attributes. Star means all the columns or all the attributes. Okay. You know where we have specified the rows, right? They're in where clause. They're in where clause. Here also you can specify. Okay. Meaning, yeah, what the rows are specified just after where clause, and here after select we can have the column list. Okay. When you have star, it means all the columns will be selected. So select star from student, display all the columns and all the rows. Okay. Rows is secondary, of course, but it select all the columns. Hope you get it. Then we can move on to projection. We know projection is the terminology related to columns, right? Columns. Yes. Here we have selected all the columns, right? All the columns using star. But selection is used to retrieve tuples from a relation. And projection is used to retrieve columns, return specific attributes. Okay, where clause, you know the application of where clause. Return specific attributes. You could note one thing, right? Return tuples. Return specific attributes. Return tuples or rows, return attributes or columns. Selection to rows, projection to columns. That's it. Okay. We have an example here. Select name comma gender from student. Select name comma gender from student. Here we have applied star. It means all the columns will be selected. Here you can restrict the tuples, not the tuples, restrict what the column list, right? Here we have only two columns are selected, name and gender. Actually, we know in our original table we have columns like roll number, name, marks, gender and date of birth, right? We have 5 columns in the original table, student, but here using this select command we have selected only 2 columns, name and gender. The other 3 columns are discarded, right? Yes, this is what projection is. Projection is used to select specific tuples, specific attributes or specific columns. Okay, selection to rows, projection to columns, specific columns, of course. Yes, so this is how we can work with selection and projection. Hope you get the idea, right? Yes. Then select is used to display columns in the order it is selected. You know what does it mean? It display columns in the order it is selected. For example, select name comma gender from student. Which one will be the first column in student? That is name, because we have selected name first. We have selected gender second, so gender will be the second column in the resultant table. And just before heading further, actually we will have an original table, right? Student, that's the original table, and select command is just used to select. Okay, it cannot make any physical change or it cannot make any change in its physical structure. Hope you get it. When you select name from name comma gender from student, actually it retrieves only name and gender from student. That's it, nothing else. Okay, it will not make any change in the original table student. Hope you get the idea, right? Okay, yes. So here the order is name comma gender. Suppose if it is just reversed, right? Gender comma name. What happens? Gender will be the first column and name will be the second column. That's it. Okay, that means it display columns in the order it is selected. We have selected name comma gender. That's the order. So name will be the first column, gender will be the second column. Okay. Yes. Then star retrieves all columns. You know the meaning of star. Star means all the columns. Okay. And we have 2 options, right? One is select star from student, or in place of star we can apply what? Select roll number, comma, name, comma, marks, comma, gender, comma, DOB, date of birth from student. Either you specify star for all the columns, or the second option is you should specify all the columns. Okay, when you want to display all the columns, no need to specify all the column lists, right? It is time consuming, so you can go for applying star. That's it. Okay, yes. So star retrieves all the columns, and how it is stored, you know, here when you apply star, what happens? It prints data as how it is stored. It prints the column list, or the order of the column as how it is stored. For example, roll number, name, marks, gender and date of birth. That's order in the original table. So when you apply star, it prints the same order. It prints how it is stored. That's it. If you're not changing the order, it will be taken. It will take the actual order, the original order. Okay, how it is actually stored in the database or in the table. Then of course we know that all SQL commands are terminated with semicolon. So select is also ending with semicolon. Select command is also terminated with semicolon. Yes. Okay. Next one is using where clause. Of course, where clause is used to restrict the number of tuples to be selected. Okay. Yes. So we have an example here. Select star from student where marks greater than or equal to 95. In the two previous cases, we haven't applied where clause. So it display all the rows, right? All the rows. But here with where clause, we do restrict the number of tuples to be selected. Suppose actually we have 35 students in our class, okay, right? 35 students in our class, and using these commands, it select all the 35 rows, right? But applying where clause, you know, where clause is applied to restrict the number of tuples to be selected. So select star from student where marks greater than or equal to 95. Suppose only 10 students got marks greater than or equal to 95. So actually we have 35 students, right? So it prints only the details of star, means all the columns will be displayed. You know that, okay? Yes. It display all the columns of those students who have scored marks greater than or equal to 95. Actually we have only 10 students. So in the resultant table, we will have only 10 rows. That's it. Okay. In the resultant table of this command, only 10 rows will be selected. The remaining 25 will be discarded because those students have scored less than 95. Okay, yes. So where clause is applied to restrict the number of tuples to be selected. Now we can move on to recording columns while displaying query results. Recording columns while displaying query results. It means order can be decided. The user or the programmer can decide the order of which it is displayed. Okay, the order of the columns. Yes. And only for display, as I have already told you, select does not make any change in its physical structure. In the physical structure of a table, it makes change. If you think it is a change, it's only at the time of displaying. Okay, we cannot say it as a change. Of course, it is just for display. That's it. Select is used for just for the display purpose, nothing else. Okay, yes. No physical rearrangement happens. Okay, no physical rearrangement is happening applying select command. Hope you get it. Yes. Then okay, we have an example here. Select name, comma, roll number, comma, date of birth, comma, marks from student. You know, in the original table, the order is roll number, name, marks, date, gender and date of birth. But here we have just rearrange the order of the columns for the selection purpose. Okay, it will not make any change in the physical structure. You know that. Name is selected first, roll number second, date of birth third, marks fourth. Okay, from student. DOB is selected. Okay, gender is not specified here. Okay, we have discarded gender. Okay, so we can change the order. That's it, nothing else. Okay, we can change the order of columns to be selected. Yes. Then finally we have eliminating duplicate values or applying distinct clause. You know what duplicate values? Okay, redundant values. For example, we have 35 students in our table student. Okay, and I've told you. Okay, we can let's think of 5 students got 100 marks. Right, 5 students got 100 marks. And 5 got 99 and 5 got 99, right? And others got 98, 97, 90, 80. Okay, yes. So let's look at the application of distinct clause with these two examples. Okay, distinct clause remove duplicate rows. Actually, applying distinct clause, it remove duplicate rows, redundant rows. Yes, retrieve only unique value. Okay, retrieve only unique value. Let's look at let's make it more clear. Okay. select distinct marks from student. That's the first command. Second, select marks from student. Let's look at the difference. Okay, first we can take select marks from student. What will be the result? Select marks from student. We select only one column, that is marks. So actually we have 35 students, right? How many rows will be displayed? Applying select marks from student. 35 rows, right? It will not avoid duplicate values. As I've told you, there are 5 students who got 100, 5 got 99, some got 98, 97, 92, 93, 80, 85. Okay, yes, there will be duplicate values, of course. We cannot say what only one student get 100, right? It's not possible. So there will be duplicate value in roll what in marks. So select marks from student will display 35 rows including duplicate values. There will be 100, 100, 100, 100. 100 5 times, right? 99 5 times, 98 if there are 4 times. Yes, duplicate values will be there. But select distinct of marks from student. Select distinct marks from student. We have applied distinct. Distinct is a clause used with select command to avoid duplication, redundancy. Okay, in value, redundancy in value. Yes. So select distinct marks from student. It display only 100, meaning 100 one time. Okay, 99 one time. Even though 5 students got 100, 5 students got 99. Okay, 199 will be printed only one time. Okay, then 98. If there are 4 students, 98 will be printed only once. 97 only once. Okay, that means in the case of select marks from student, it displays 35 rows, right? But for an example, we can say select distinct of marks from student may print only 10 rows, because the other will be what? Duplicate values, right? Others will be duplicate values. So it will not go for duplicate values. It print distinct value or unique value, right? Hope you get the idea. Yes. So these are the different ways to apply select command. So just before winding up, let's have a quick revision. Okay. Yes. So it's all about SQL query processing. After the table, the database has been created and a table has been created, we can go for inserting data, and after inserting and performing all the operations, we can go for retrieving data from the database, right? Yes. So that's what after completing creating database, table is created, after data is stored, and a select command is used to retrieve and view data on the screen and fetch data from one or more tables. Of course, we can say we can select from one or more tables. Which of course selects rows and columns. Then select statement and perform selection projection, of course, most extensively used, most commonly used, widely used SQL command. Then we have 2 operations, selection and projection. Selection is related to rows, selecting rows, and projection to selecting columns. Then return tuples with all attributes. Syntax: select column name, column 2 from student, what table name, where. Actually the formation is select from where, select from where. Okay. Then select star from student. Example: star means all the columns. All the columns, yes. Then here it selects all the tuples in a relation, right? Yes. Then projection returns specific attributes applying where clause. We can have where clause. It's optional, of course. Select name, comma, gender from student. Okay. Here we have return, or we have added only 2 columns, name and gender, right? Specific attributes, yes. Then display column, it's in the order it is selected. A star means all columns. Okay. How it is stored will be displayed, terminated with semicolon, and the condition is select will not make any physical change in the structure of the table. It's just for the purpose of displaying. That's it. Okay, it's just for the purpose of displaying on the screen. Yes. Then using where clause, select star from student where 90 marks greater than or equal 95. Only those students details will be printed, those who have scored marks greater than or equal 95. Okay, others will be discarded. Recording columns. Okay, no physical rearrangement is happened. Then order can be decided by the user. Okay, column order only for display purpose. Select name, comma, roll number, comma. Actually, this is not the order in the original table, right? Yes. So meaning we can change it, of course. Then finally, another important topic, of course, duplicate value. Eliminating duplicate value using distinct clause. Select marks from student will display all the 35 rows, but select distinct marks from student. Avoid duplication, meaning only unique value will be printed. That means it may be 10, right? It may be 10 rows only. Yes, it may be 10 rows. Or 7 rows or 5 rows. Okay, yes, it's up to the column, it's up to the table. Okay, so this is all about SQL query processing using select command. As we know, this is the most widely used, most commonly used. You'll have to use it everywhere. Okay, yes, so this is the fundamental DML command, of course, we can say. Yeah, So just go through all this topic, have the theory first, as I'm always telling you, have the theory first, have a quick understanding of the select applications, okay, then you can go for practicals, right? Yes. So in your board examination, there will be almost all questions will be based on select command, right? Yes. So this is all for the time being. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. See you in the next video.